Music always gets you going.
Why are you throwing fists at our watchers, man?
That was
Ben's a little hopped up with his coffee today.
You know, I've had like maybe 4.5 hours of sleep on average the last 2 nights, and I need the coffee to pump me back.
Before we give you the answer to Ben's 4.5 hours of sleep, thanks for watching Lancaster Connects, the show about small business and small charities here in Lancaster County. Really talking about the battle of David versus Goliath, the big versus small. And we like to highlight these great businesses, great charities locally in Lancaster. We got a great one for you this week with Newly Restored with our guest, Kapp Brown. So we'll bring Kapp on here momentarily. But we have some fun here on the show, as you can tell. It's not just throwing punches. That's a little. Facebook might give us a little smackdown. If we have a little violence. There you go, Don Peters. You're right. Ben does need that sleep better.
Yeah, you know, we've talked often about the sleep schedule.
Out the window.
It doesn't even exist. It doesn't exist. I sleep in 2-hour increments.
Yeah. Well, we'll tune you in as to what that is here momentarily.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Yeah. So Don's already in. Don's in for the prize later. Don's in for the contest drawing. We do a $25 restaurant gift card each week, and you get into that contest by making a comment on the show. Real simple.
Easy.
Type in the comment.
Could be any comment.
We spin the prize later at the end of the show, and if your name pops up, you win the gift card. So there we go. Ben, why don't you tell everybody where they can find the show?
Facebook.
Are you too sleepy for that?
I think I'm good. Facebook, Lancaster Connects Facebook page, and also Gardener's Mattress and More Facebook page. You can search those up in your Facebook search windows. Also on LinkedIn. Personal LinkedIn accounts for Jeff and myself, and YouTube.
Yeah. Hi, Linda.
Good afternoon, Linda. I said good morning. It's good afternoon.
He's all messed up.
Linda, former guest, friend of the show, Help the Fight, great nonprofit that Linda Charles runs. Shout out to them, doing great things. YouTube, Gardener's Mattress and More YouTube channel, and the Lancaster Connects YouTube channel. Those feeds live on those channels all the time. Of course, we're live now, but you can catch past episodes on the LancasterConnects.com page.
I just like seeing Ben's talking hand expressions for search and YouTube and LinkedIn and all that stuff. That's why I'm just sitting here kind of smiling, laughing, because it's kind of a joke that, you know, Ben can't talk without his hands.
No, I can't, and it drives my wife Lindsay crazy.
I mean, listen, there's a lot of studies. Like there's a lot about the human expression of language that is more than just the words. There is body language. There is tonality.
We saw that firsthand with Lisa, who when we recorded the infomercial a few weeks ago.
Oh,
we've hinted at her infomercial, but there were times where she was on camera.
Jeez, that feels like forever ago.
I know it feels like months ago. It's just a few weeks ago. But there were times where she was speaking, but not necessarily needing to be on camera, and she used her hands much more emphatically
to enunciate,
to get different inflections
and get the point across.
She was a real pro.
She was.
Awesome.
She was
awesome to work with her.
A better touch, a better stroke of finesse than if I were your host.
Right. Or me.
That's right. Because Ben just gonna punch you. It's just like comes right out. So anyway, our next guest, hopefully we haven't scared him off. Steve Goebel, the Goebel Group. Did I say that right?
I believe so.
Steve, did we say that right? Hopefully we did. If not, we'll get it right between now and next Monday. But we've got Steve coming on, and then we've got a really great guest for the 25th. And we've got somebody fun that we're reaching out for the 18th. As always, if you want to be on the show, go to LancasterConnects.com/guest. We've had a good run of businesses here. I think it's time to get back to charities. So anybody that's watching, if you know a great charity that we should highlight on our show, please do reach out, have them reach out, connect with us via that form, LancasterConnects.com/guest, and we'll get them on the show.
Yeah, there's no shortage of people in Lancaster and charities and nonprofits doing great things in Lancaster. So we'd love to highlight.
I'm picking on the guy. I use my hands too. I shouldn't do that.
It's fine. I can take it.
So should we tune everybody in as to what the lack of sleep is about? Is it that time?
I guess so. Yeah.
Before I bring Kapp on.
Yeah. We'll do it before we bring Kapp on. So, Yep. It's not my kids, although sometimes they can, kids can cause lack of sleep, right? But we basically have a newborn in the house again.
That's going to stay a newborn for good. That's what puppies do.
The furry thing in my wife Lindsay's hand is a golden doodle puppy.
The furry thing known as my wife. Almost lack of sleep. Almost put you in a doghouse with the dog.
I think I said the right thing.
No, you did. I'm just like turning you red here.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Lindsay.
Lindsay.
She is 8 weeks old, and she's great. We got her on Saturday. But yeah, we're in the puppy training phase, great training, which is going great. But every couple hours up in the middle of the night, taking her out, trying to make sure she doesn't pee on the floor. Oh yeah, there we go. Give us the awes in the chat. We'd like that. No, she's great. But it's we've never had dogs before. You know this. Lindsay had a dog growing up as a child, but I've never been a dog owner, never had a dog in the house. And we've gotten a lot of books from the library. We've done a lot of research, talked to a bunch of people, but nothing gives you the crash course like actually having it right there in front of you. So, the first day was a little, she was kind of, getting to know us. Right. And I think she was scared of me. We're good now. We bonded yesterday.
You're here on the show throwing fists around.
Probably
I wonder what happens at home.
Hey, puppy,
Ben is not a fist thrower at home. Just to clear that up.
But we had a breakthrough yesterday. She's warmed up to me. So after this, I'll go back home and see how she's it's the first time alone this afternoon. So we'll see how she is when I get back.
Fingers crossed.
Yep. But she's a good dog.
Yeah. Well, they're all good dogs. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, it doesn't matter what breed you get.
Yep.
Dog's behavior is definitely learned. I have a friend through a business mastermind networking group, Josh Wilson out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, off the leash canine training. I believe there's a franchise, not that he owns, but the network that he's a part of that's in the area. All dogs, their behavior is all learned. So the more time you put into them, and I'm sure, and your family's great. You guys are going to put lots of love and care into Maggie. So she's a welcome part of the family, and that's cool, man. Congratulations.
She's rambunctious. She likes sticks. She's also into the little acorns that fall off the tree, so I've got to make sure she doesn't eat those. But she's great so far. So
there we go.
Yep. So maybe I'll get some sleep next.
Ben's got a forever 3-year-old at home.
I do.
That's what dogs are.
It'll match my 3-year-oldness.
Even the best ones, you can leave them alone for so long, and then you can't. And it's kind of like a 3-year-old, right? You can plunk a 3-year-old down in front of the TV or in their room playing with Legos, and then it's all good till it's not.
Yep.
And that's the way it is with dogs.
I see Linda commented she would like to she's offered to take the puppy for a night. So
okay.
Maybe if I need sleep on Tuesday night, I can drop her off at Linda's house.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I think it's time to bring on Kapp.
Yeah. Yep. You get to follow the dog, Kapp.
I'm excited. There's nothing worse than following a dog.
Right. You've got a lot to live up to here, Kapp. So, Kapp, I've known Kapp for a handful of years now. Met Kapp at a church that my family attended for quite some time, and then reconnected recently within the last 6 months at the Manheim Township chapter of the Referral Partners Plus referral group. He's like, see how I did that? So getting to know Kapp a little bit better, and welcome to the show, Kapp.
Thank you for having me.
And Kapp knows all about me and my pets, because Kapp, we'll get into this, but Kapp cleaned my ductwork, and he knows all about the pets in our house, which like presently is 5, but at times has been 6 and 7. And so at any rate, why don't you share with our listeners a little bit about what exactly you do there with Newly Restored?
Sure. Well, Newly Restored is a restorative cleaning company, and we call ourselves restorative in the fact that a lot of people, when they think of a cleaning company, they immediately go to janitorial, and that's fine. We don't do janitorial. We prefer to leave the cleaning of sinks and toilets and refrigerators to other people, but we tend to do a little bit more deep cleaning and a little bit more of a restorative cleaning, and trying to restore the stuff back to what it was originally when it was first installed. And part of that is just a matter of knowing what the types of surfaces are that we can clean, and then cleaning them accordingly. So For those of you who've ever been to a restaurant and you feel as though that your shoes are sticking to the floor, those are the kind of floors that we like to clean. We like to find things that are problematic, and we like to find a solution for them, clean them.
Yeah, we've all been in those types of places where it was like, this place could use a wipe down.
That's right.
So how did you?
But heck, if their food ain't good.
Yeah, right. That's probably the case. Just don't read the restaurant.
Yeah, I mean, you wash it down with some Listerine.
Kapp, how did you start Newly Restored? Have you always been in restorative type work, or?
No, quite the contrary. I was in publishing for many years. Everything from the side of going around to the independent bookstores and selling books, all the way through to the commercial side where we were actually printing the materials. So the whole world of publishing I've been involved in, and it just came to a point in time that I needed a change in my life, and I went looking and didn't really look to start a business at the time, but felt as though it was time for me to do something different, and came across the opportunity to clean some hard surfaces, and signed up with a company called The Master's Touch, which is out of Arizona. And from there, I decided to attend the training and purchase the equipment, and the rest is pretty much history. We came to realize down here in Lancaster County, there's not as many hard surfaces as perhaps maybe what's up in Arizona. There's a lot more carpet. So we tended to focus a little bit more attention on the carpets. So we went out and got some additional training and certification in the areas of cleaning carpets and upholsteries. So we're pretty much a full service cleaning. Anything you stand, walk, or lean on, we pretty much can clean.
I like that.
Yeah, very good. So one of the things that we like to talk about here as we bring on our business guests is the things they're passionate about from a charitable angle, the things that you get excited about, the charities you like to support, give back to. Can you share what those are for you in Newly Restored?
Oh, absolutely. Way back at the beginning, when we first got started, we believed that we needed to take 10% of our business earnings each month and set them aside for charitable contributions for giving. And so we started doing that back in 2014 when we first got started. And back in those days, of course, there wasn't a lot. We didn't have a lot of money coming in, but what we did have, we liked to set aside 10% and to give it to not only international organizations, but also to national organizations. So we started supporting individuals. We started supporting some overseas national ministries, but then here locally, we started really looking into companies like, or organizations like Marriage Hub, like Align Life, Power Packs, North Star Initiative. These are some of the organizations that we support on a regular basis. And another organization called Life Cycles, which provides, it's almost a mentorship for young adults, but they do it through bicycle riding. So a lot of different organizations here locally. We're very, very blessed in Lancaster to have a lot of organizations that really touch a lot of people's needs and really gives you an opportunity to support locally.
Kapp, I think I'd love for you to make an introduction to us to Life Cycles. I've, being a past member of Community Fellowship Church, we're at a different church now, but I heard the Life Cycle story over and over again. Who's the gentleman that, or the couple that runs that?
The founder is Lee DeReamer.
That's right.
He's a retired colonel from the military, and he just had a real heart and passion for young people, primarily young boys at the time. And he started bicycle riding, and a lot of what he was doing was taking them on very short rides, and that was to kind of get them going. And then every year they have a long ride, and these long rides could be coast to coast. They could be across the country. They could be up to Niagara Falls. They could be to New England. And if you don't have a bicycle, they provide you with a bicycle. They provide you with helmets. They provide you with the shirts. And then you get kind of patches for each number of miles that you have traveled. And along the way, there's discipleship. There is some mentorship that goes on. They've since expanded beyond that to include girls. So now they have a complete girls chapter as well that travel. So
yeah, that's awesome. I think last year they did go coast to coast. They went from like Oregon to Maryland, or right.
Yeah, I'm afraid
that's
for
them. Me. That's incredible.
So kind of piggybacking on that, one of our commenters, I believe, is your wife, Linda. Fan of you on here, apparently. So
I certainly hope so, now that you said that.
right. Newly Restored is really a family business, right?
Cool.
Tell us about that.
Well, when we first got started, the whole idea is that we wanted to include our family into the business if they wanted to. At the time, my son was actively involved in a church, and he was doing some leading of the worship in the church. My son-in-law at the time was working for a landscaping company. He then moved over to working with us, and he was with us for a number of years before he went off to a different company. And now my daughter comes and works with us. She's part-time, but she does a lot of the administrative stuff. My wife works with us. Now my brother-in-law works with us, as well as others. But these are the ones that we count on a day-to-day basis. But we have a lot of, we're expanding. We're growing so much that we're going to need additional people. And so we are actively hiring at this time to try and find additional team members. But we really believe, even if you're not blood family, you're certainly part of our family. And the family that we have, we try to support one another in the endeavors that we do here in the organization, as well as within the work that we do and in their life. So it's family, even if it's not part of the blood family.
Very good. Very good. Just as an example of that, can you share, maybe this little portion could be a little recruitment video. So when you say you bring employees in as family and support endeavors outside the workplace, is there an example of something you've done that's exciting?
We like to celebrate their birthdays. We like to celebrate some of their labors and their efforts and the work that they do. If they have ball games, if they have kids that go do things, we like to try and involve ourselves in a lot of those types of things as well. And some of them like to just kind of do things on their own, which is fine. But if they're open to allowing us to do some things with them, we'd love to come out. We also like to pray for them for when there's challenges or times in their life when perhaps maybe they're going through a rough time and a rough patch. We like to be able to offer ourselves as prayer partners to pray with them as well. So It just varies depending upon whatever needs the people have.
Yeah, that's very cool that you come out and support like the baseball games and other things that the kids do. I know my son had his manager from Chick-fil-A come out and watch one of his final high school bowling matches. And I thought that was very, very cool. Ethan, my boy, really appreciated it. And, truth be told, he had like 3 or 4 other kids that were there. But still, I mean, I can't say in the 4 years of high school bowling, now that we're wrapped up, I can't say that I had heard of anything like that before. So it's rare and it's to be celebrated. So good for you. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's very cool. That is very cool. I like that. So so Newly Restored, let's dig into what you did for me. So you came to my house, right?
Yep.
Had an adventure, I'm sure.
Right.
Right.
Yep. That's a good way to put it, Jeff. Well, listen, we live in our house. I mean, we are busy with 2 teenage boys. We have 3 cats and 2 permanent dogs. At times there's been a 3rd dog that's been a rescue. We're busy. So for us, we don't endeavor to live in a home that looks like it's out of the pages of Better Homes and Gardens day in and day out. At the end of our time, my wife and I have decided we just do not wish to say, boy, we're really glad our house was like spick and span 24/7. So I'm just setting the table for everybody. So when we had Kapp out, it was time to clean the duct work. So you found some stuff that was pretty interesting to me.
Well, oftentimes you never will know what people's ducts contain. We've had some times where we've actually pulled out children's toys, which is understandable. Sometimes it's Matchbox cars. Sometimes I think the one I had was dice. I got some dice out of it. I always wondered what happened with the dice, but that was always intriguing. But there's a lot of construction stuff that comes up. People are putting in the ductwork. They cut a hole in the floor or something like this, and oftentimes the dust goes right down into the duct pipes, and you got to clean that out. But they oftentimes don't. So you have a lot of the debris from construction sitting in your ducts. So just by going in there and cleaning a lot of that out. See, part of the challenge is the ducts provide just a real breeding ground for viruses and bacteria and a variety of other things that if you don't attack it and if you don't really address it, you end up getting a lot of that stuff thrown out into the air. And so when you're doing it, you're trying to essentially improve the quality of the air of the customer. And a lot of times it's allergies that really become a problem. And that's what really constitutes a lot of people calling us, is that they're sneezing a lot. They can't breathe, or somebody's moved into a house and they have cats, and I'm allergic to cats. And so I've got to get the house cleaned, those kind of things. So there's any number of different reasons people call us. But for the most part, I think probably the worst thing was I actually pulled a mouse out of one time. That was kind of fun. But by and large, it's like you see in the video there. It's just mostly debris. It's mostly dust and construction stuff. And I'd say probably about 80 to 90% of what I pull up is just like what's in that video.
Yeah. I think you said in ours, you pulled out a cigarette butt.
We pulled out a couple cigarette butts. Yep.
We don't smoke.
Problem.
Yeah.
No, we don't smoke at all.
We don't know. Maybe you're in the bathroom and finishing up, and then you kind of tap it out and throw it down. I don't know. Any number of things can happen.
I mean, I smoke cigars, but that's outside in the backyard. So,
well, duct cleaning is one of those that you don't really think about.
Nope.
I mean, you probably see that all the time. How would a homeowner know that their ducts need to be cleaned? Is it something that somebody should do routinely, or at least have done once?
I would say probably duct cleaning should be done at least once every 12 to 18 months.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Wow.
Perhaps maybe less. If you start seeing a lot of dust sitting on top of your furniture a lot, there's a good indication that there's stuff that's blowing out of your HVAC. But I'd say also your duct cleaning doesn't really become a factor until it gets cold, until you start running the heat, because then the air is drier. During the summertime, the air is a lot more moist, and you don't have as much of that stuff floating around the air because you got more humidity in the air. So we don't do a lot of duct cleaning in the spring and the winter and the summertime because they're running the HVAC and they don't know, or the air conditioning, and they don't notice it as much. It's mostly in the fall and the winter time that we get a lot of calls for HVAC cleaning, because people are turning on their heaters and they're starting to smell things coming out of the heaters, because the dust actually, as it gets hot, you can smell it. So people know when it's time to clean it when they start sneezing a lot and they start getting a lot of dust on the surfaces and things like this. But another is dryer vent cleaning. Go ahead and clean your dryer vent at the same time. It's the number one cause of house fires in America is dirty ducts in your dryer vent. And it's a simple process. I pulled one out the other day. They had absolutely no air flowing through their dryer at all. And here there were 2 or 3 bird nests in there that had clogged up the pipe so bad you couldn't get anything out of it. So clean out the dryer vents, you'll be happier, and your clothes will dry faster.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I forgot if you gave me a report on that at our house or not, but I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm sure it couldn't have been great because I don't know.
You've never done it.
I've never done it. We've lived there for 13 years. So
if you dry a lot of towels are the number one culprit for dryer dust. So if you clean a lot of towels, there's probably a better chance that you're going to need to have your ducts, your dryer vent cleaned. If you just do regular clothing, jeans and t-shirts and things like this, it's not as critical as doing a lot of towels.
Yeah.
Now, if you're in an older home versus a newer home, would it be safe to assume that it might, those types of things, HVAC clogging and duct clogging, would be worse in an older home than a newer home, or really doesn't matter?
Not necessarily. In the older homes, the duct board tend to be bigger. A lot of times there's only one return, especially in the older row homes in Lancaster. They tend to have one big duct in the middle of the floor. And that's your return. That's where all of the air is going, and your filters typically can filter out a lot of that stuff. But it's the ones where you have the wall stacks and you've got multiple return vents in a room. Each one of those is going to get clogged up, and as they get clogged up, obviously it clogs up the supplies as well. So
Gotcha.
It's just very.
I can attest to the multiple returns, because when I did your little worksheet to count out and get an estimate, I missed it by half. I can count.
To your fairness, some of them were hidden behind the bed. You just didn't know about it.
Yeah, but I really missed the mark. There was a lot there, but I can definitely vouch for the service. It was fantastic. We're enjoying it. So you do other things. You do interior wise. You do. Why don't you share with our listeners what you're doing on the interior?
Sure.
You may as well say it, not me.
Carpets are very, very popular. Tile and grout floors. If you got kitchen floors and bathroom floors that the grout's a little darker than you remember, things like this. If you have concrete, if you have In the case here, we got slate and that composite video. There's a variety of different. That's the tile and the grout cleaning there, and you can see that the grout itself. It doesn't take a lot to be able to pull it out, but some people spend hours with a toothbrush cleaning the grout lines, and this can be done fairly quickly. Now, I have to put in a disclaimer that some stains are going to be permanent, just like you're going to have some stains on your clothing that becomes permanent. But the idea is that you want to try and clean out as much as you can and remediate much as you can. So we'll use both organic cleaners as well as more acidic-based cleaners to clean the different types of dirt, because not all dirt is the same. So
not all dirt is the same. I like that.
It's not. I like it.
Exterior of the home. So we've talked a lot of things for the inside of the house. Power washing. I think I'm going to have you come out to my house to do some power washing. I got some of the green stuff on the back and the side and area of the house that doesn't get a ton of sun. I know on the top of my up here, top of my chimney has a lot of the green stuff in it. I did power washing on the house 2 summers ago, and it took me like multiple weekends just to do like what I could reach with the power washer. And I got soaked every time I did it. And it was, it was kind of satisfying in a sense that like it looked clean after I did it, but it took up a lot of time, and it was, it was a challenging thing. So how can you help homeowners with those exterior needs?
Well, the whole process that we use, we spray a solution onto the house initially. And that solution is what does all the work. All we do with the power washing basically is coming down and rinsing off the solution, which takes off all the dirt and all the green and the mold and things like this onto it.
So I did it all wrong.
You did it backwards.
I did it wrong.
Well, a lot of people come at it and they think, well, the best thing we need to do is we need to hit it with high pressure. And the problem with that is that then you end up with what we call the marks of Zorro, where you end up with these streaks caused by the power washing wand that are a little heavier in some spots than in others. And by doing it with a solution and then doing more of a softer cleaning type of setup, you're not putting as much pressure on the outside of the siding so that you don't damage it. And basically all you're doing is just rinsing all the dirt off, and you'll see it. I mean, you'll spray the solution on, and probably about 10, 15 minutes later, you come back to the same spot and there's nothing left on the house. It's all nice and cleaned up. You're just rinsing off the solution at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then, I probably ruined my siding.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not if it looks good. But I'll let you know when I come out. How's that?
Sounds good. Hey, and I'd like to add the duct cleaning and the dryer vent cleaning.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's add those to the service plan.
Upsold you.
Yeah. You just
upsold you right here on the show. See, there you go, business guests. When you come on, we try to do business right here, right now.
There you go.
Yeah. So, what is this electrostatic spraying? What's that all about?
Well, electrostatic sprayers. Many of you all have probably seen videos of people who get their get stuff powder coated. You see powder coating videos where they come in and they spray paint onto stuff, and boy, it just looks like the paint sticks on it. And that's basically electrostatic spraying. They're just using an electrostatic sprayer, special sprayer that shoots out negative particles in with the paint or whatever it is that you're spraying. And because the fact that the surfaces that it's going onto are positively charged, the negative and the positives attract each other. And as a result, they adhere to each other, and you have less chance of having overspray. You have more of a chance of adherence. So when we do electrostatic sprayings, we do it in conjunction with disinfecting and spraying antimicrobial coatings on. And these, what we'll do is we will actually apply a disinfectant through the spray gun, which then is electrically charged. It goes out and it finds all kinds of surfaces which are negatively charged. It attracts it just like a magnet, and the next thing you know, you have adhesion. If you remember putting two magnets together. But the other downside is if you spray a negative onto a negative surface, what happens? It repels, just like on a magnet. If you took two negative posts and tried to touch them together, they're going to repel each other. So that way you're not going to have if one spot's already occupied with a spray droplet, it's going to find another one. So that's why you end up with wraparound, where you're going to see the particles are going to wrap around the surface, and it's actually going to be on the other side as well. So you're not just spraying the front of the surface, but you spray the whole back end, as you can see. You definitely see the difference there between the charging on and charging off. That's primarily what electrostatics is, so that we can spray bathrooms. We do a lot of work within the Lancaster bus company, doing all the Red Rose buses. We do that once a quarter.
Oh, wow.
And we come in and we spray down all the buses, make sure all the buses are good and clean for the riders to come in, passengers. And then we put an antimicrobial coating on top of it, and that lasts for 90 days. So that basically it makes an inhospitable environment for viruses and bacteria to grow. So that's primarily what we use electrostatics, because it's a lot faster. We're able to cover a lot more area, and we're not going to oversaturate a surface.
Yeah.
We just got a science lesson.
Yeah. I'm like, here you go, kids. Like, if you fall asleep in science class, here's how you use it in the real world.
Yep.
Hopefully there's not a test at the end.
Yeah, I didn't do that in school. That's why I sell mattresses now.
Kapp, do you have any favorite projects, like projects that you've done in the past, or a service that you offer that's like your favorite, you love to do it? Do you have?
I love power washing. I mean, power washing is an instant gratification. Most of the surfaces that we clean, you immediately see the difference.
Sure.
The ones that you don't ever see the difference are the ones that are intangible, like the air quality. Oftentimes when we do air quality testing and then cleaning of the air, the only way we know that the air is clean is by some of our test meters that we use. When we do disinfecting, we use what they call an ATP meter, so that we can measure the amount of ATP, which is a building block of all living creatures. That's what we use. We test for that, because that's the only way that we can test for the presence of a virus. So if our ATP levels are low, then we know that there's very few viruses present at that point. But I'd say probably my favorite is always power washing. I love it because I get out in the summer and the springtime. I'm outside. I'm spraying down houses and just enjoying life. But I think probably my favorite place to clean, we do a lot of work with hotels, and I love doing hotels. I love to be able to do the exteriors of commercial buildings. It's very gratifying to me to do that.
So on the topic of pressure washing, maybe a new business idea for you, maybe not. I'll share with you this little story of a retailer friend of ours down. I won't name them, but I'll say the state, Louisiana. So we held a little event years ago where we brought a bunch of retailers together, and they were talking about some kind of like guerrilla marketing, outside the box thinking things that we've all done. And they shared how they had a company pressure wash their logo into the sidewalk of, I think it was like a major stadium where a big event was going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
And they just did it without permission. And I think they got in a lot of trouble for it. But what could be done? It was like, the only way you're going to fix it is you go pressure wash it, and nobody was going to do that. So their thing stayed out for a number of weeks, I guess, until the rain and weather kind of wore it away. So there you go. Maybe a little bandit spray. Not, you go to the business and you ask, hey, can I sell some advertising space on your sidewalk? I'm not saying don't do anything illegal, but I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, the tactic of,
hey, there have been people that have actually gone to a building and cleaned part of a building and just left the rest of it the same that it was before, and put in a message that says, if you want the rest of it clean, call me.
Right.
There's some questionable tactics that people use. I prefer to be a little bit more upfront with folks and talk to them specifically about what their specific needs are. But yeah, there's all kinds of things people can do to get the word out.
Yeah, no kidding. So somebody literally cleaned like the front half of the house off and then said,
"Yep,
it's what's the word for it?
I guess that's a way.
It's like holding the house hostage.
Yeah, yep. I guess that's a way to do it.
Or they'll clean a circle so that the circle is quite evident. You can definitely tell that it was a circle, and it looks really silly when the rest of the house is green and there's this big white circle of where it's nice and clean. I mean,
yeah, we don't advocate for this behavior on Lancaster Connects. We're just talking about it.
Yeah, we can get ourselves in trouble here real fast, can't we?
Yeah. That's interesting for sure.
Kapp, any other services that you offer? Anything else you'd like to share about Newly Restored, or something that our listeners might not know about you or your business? Anything else you'd like to share?
Well, we've done the disinfecting, as I was sharing with you earlier. We've done that. That's kind of dropped off a little bit since 2020, but back in 2020 and 2021, that seemed to be a very popular thing to do, is get disinfecting. I always tell people there's always other viruses. There's always other surfaces that need to be remediated, and particularly surfaces such as cooking areas and places that need to be sanitized, disinfected, and that kind of thing. But we also do a lot of odor remediation. We also do a lot of oil and grease remediation. So we'll pull oil and grease out of concrete. That's very particularly strong within the fuel and oil industry, around gas stations, the fuel islands, that type of thing. But also in people's driveways. If they've got a concrete driveway, we can pull the oil and the grease out.
Wow.
The odor remediation is very popular within cars, as they're trying to sell a car, a used car, and such like that. And they've got a very strong smell of smoke that's in the car. We can come in and we can remediate that odor. We can get that odor out of there. Sometimes we did a very large theater at one particular time, and this theater had years and years and years and years of cigarette smoke that was inside of it. And it was all throughout the ducts and throughout everything. And I told him, I said, hey, listen, if we can come in and we can basically just clean the carpets, clean the floors, and then we can run some odor deodorizers through the whole place, and you won't even smell it. And today they use that same theater. They haven't done anything to the ducts. All we did was clean the carpets and put the odor remediation, and they're using it now for conferences. So It doesn't smell like smoke at all. It just smells like an older building now. So those kind of things can be done. We did one with a hotel, and they had fish oil. A guy used to slather himself up with fish oil before he'd go to competitions. Well, the whole room smelled like fish oil all the time. So we had to come in and we had to remediate the odors in there. So it just varies, different places for different things.
I just want to know, what competitions require fish oil?
Bodybuilding.
They use fish oil?
They'll put fish oil on their bodies. Yeah. I don't know why. Yeah. Lube themselves up, get themselves all greased up and looking good. I guess fish oil is probably the easiest thing to use. I don't know.
Well, this show has taken a turn. I mean, illegal marketing graffiti, strange hieroglyphics power washed into people's houses, fish oil on bodybuilders.
Nobody said this was boring.
I thought we'd have to search a little bit to make this one interesting, but we just took care of it ourselves here.
Bandit cleaning. Yep.
Man alive. Fish oil for bodybuilders. You learn something every day. Happy to give it to you, Lancaster. Right here.
There you go.
Right here.
Seems like a good segue into our connection cocktail with Kapp. So we got to know Kapp a little bit here. Let's get to know Kapp a little bit deeper here. We've got our connection cocktail questions. You want to go first, Jeff?
I'll go first. Yeah, I was waiting for the graphic. There it is, so we can start. Kapp, what's your favorite thing to do in Lancaster?
Oh gosh, there's lots of things I like to do in Lancaster. I particularly like to ride motorcycle, and I like to ride around the back streets of Lancaster. My wife and I oftentimes in the summertime will take a Sunday afternoon and go for a bike ride, and that's just very enjoyable to me. There's a lot of back roads that I've never been on, and it's exciting. I also love to play disc golf. And Lancaster, for many people who don't know, disc golf is very popular here in Lancaster. There are golf courses throughout all of the county, different sizes, different dimensions. And boy, I tell you, you're hard pressed if you don't find one. So we do a lot of the disc golf. We also love to hike. We also love to go and visit local events, not only here in Mount Joy, but in other areas around town. We like to go to fireworks. I mean, we love to just get outside in the summer and the spring and the summertime and just walk and visit and bike ride and all that kind of stuff. So
I too like to motorcycle ride. Oh, do you? So what kind of motorcycle do you have?
Well, I have a beginner's bike. Mine's just a Yamaha V-Star 650. So it's a starter bike.
I had one of those. I had one of those years ago. Yep. Very good bike.
It's just a beginner bike, but I enjoy it for now. Eventually, I'd like to upgrade something a little bit more comfortable for my wife and I to ride. But right now, it satisfies the desire to ride.
Yep. Very good.
That's awesome. I love the froth. I've not done it often, but Abigail. Yeah, Abigail said her and her husband love playing disc golf. So many courses. So she echoes.
Is it froth or dolph?
Well, Froth is from Seinfeld. Remember,
Right, yeah.
The frisbee golf episode.
All right.
Annual event that you like to go to. Do you have one event that you go to?
I do. It's not in Lancaster, but every year we like to go out to someplace in the country to what's called the Huge Convention, and the Huge Convention is just for power washers and people that are in that industry. And they call it the Huge Convention because it just draws people from all across the country. Actually, it's international, I believe now, but they have vendors there, and it's not so much on power washing techniques, because once you've mastered a technique, there's no point in trying to mess with it. It seems to work for you. But it's more or less on how to scale. It's more or less on business practices, best practices, how to be able to be profitable in what you do, and a lot of advice from people that are much further up the ladder than I am. But we really enjoy going there. It gives us a chance to connect with other power washers around the country. And we've developed some very strong relationships with other power washers, even locally, who would be considered our competitors. We have really developed and fostered some good, solid relationships with them.
That's good. That's great. Well, this time when you go next, you can share this show about the banded pressure washing as a new business opportunity.
That's right.
So there you
I'm
go.
thinking maybe even starting to make stencils with our logo on it. We can just go around and we can stencil people's driveways.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There you go.
He's got it. He's down the field.
That's right. That's right. And last question. So when you got family and friends in town from out of town, what's the thing about Lancaster you like to share with them?
Well, we love to go and we love to share, obviously, the Amish. That's something that's unique to Lancaster County. We like to get down into the southern part of the county where they seem to be a little bit more prevalent. But, of course, the food, there's some specific things to Lancaster that really are not found too many other places. I think we think of ham loaf. We think of Lebanon bologna. We think of whoopie pies, long johns. I mean, the things that you and I take for granted on a regular basis, and not to mention all of the craft breweries, all the different places around here that are popping up with craft brewing. I mean, it's becoming very eclectic in terms of the different styles of food and drink that are available here. So anytime that I have folks that come up here, we like to go out and visit some of the local hotspots like the Amish community, as well as some of the food places. We love to go out there to see those things.
Very good.
That's awesome. Yep.
I'm gonna have to go get me some ham loaf.
There you go.
I haven't had that in forever, but you've just.
I can't say that I've ever had ham loaf. I had ham balls one time, and that was interesting.
It's so good, but it's so good.
Meatloaf. Never
ham loaf with like the little pineapple sauce on it, right? I mean, that's just
that's the bomb.
You have to understand. See, I'm a Texas boy, and we don't put sugar on any meat in Texas. I mean, Texas is a savory state. We don't put meat. So it was a little bit of shock to me to come in here and have meat that had sugar in it.
Yeah,
shock for me. But
so Monday night pineapple, Tuesday night smoked. And just go back and forth.
There you go.
Solutions, Kapp. We're looking for solutions here.
You're on the money, Jeff. You're on the money.
That's right. All right. Well, Kapp, look, this has been a pleasure. I know you've actually got some work to go do. So so we can let you.
That's great. There we go.
That would be pretty gutsy to do that to somebody's house. I don't think you should. I don't think anybody here is about doing business.
I didn't think you could find that picture. Where'd you find that picture? I thought I hid that a long time ago, but that looks pretty bad.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
All right.
Leave it to producer Chris.
Yeah. Well, listen, if you need anything clean that we talked about, duct work, interior, exterior work, pressure washing, remediation, hit up Kapp. Really good guy. Can't vouch enough for his services. Did a great job for me. I'm sure he'll do a great job for Ben. And you can check him out at newlyrestored.com. Thanks, Kapp, for joining us. Really appreciate you being on the show today.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thank you again.
See you.
Well, that was fun. I mean, hey, who can make a show about cleaning fun? These guys. If you want to have fun like that, talk about your business, talk about your charity, go to lancasterconnects.com/guest. We'll get you on the show and we'll have some fun with you. And just as we did with Kapp there, just have a fun, engaging conversation about how you serve the community, be that in your business or with the charity that you help others with. We'd love to have you on. And, one thing I wanted to touch on with Kapp that we didn't, he said in the earlier days, he didn't have a lot of time, didn't have a lot of money as he was starting out his business to give back. And that's the thing I want to always remind people about. Maybe that's the case for you, and that's okay. But everybody has time, and all of these charities need help. They need people to affect the mission. So maybe you don't have the financial wherewithal to donate consistently, but you have the time. Please reach out to a charity, ones that we've highlighted, Help the Fight, Power Packs, Off the Streets, Effort Community Services. I mean, you can go to LancasterConnects.com and look at all the charities we've highlighted. We would love it if you found the time to give to those charities and help them out. That would be just amazing for us. I'd really like that.
Yep. Last chance to put something in the chat box. Send us a message. Last chance to win the restaurant gift card, $25 restaurant gift card. It's got a ton of comments today, which is fantastic. Looks like we have some new commenters and some groupies. Can I call them groupies? Lancaster Connects groupies.
I think we're forming some groupies. I like it.
So still a good chance to win. Put a comment in there. Tell us something you liked about the show.
That's right. We need to come up with a name for Lancaster Connects groupies.
Connectors?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
So anyway, but we're going to move on right now before we go too far down that road.
Draw?
It's related to my sleep better tip.
Okay. Just looked over. There's like hieroglyphics.
Yeah. We're going to put these in the side of your house and get money. Anyway, so if you want great sleep tips, we got this book, Sleep Better. You can get it at gardnersmattressandmore.com/sleep-better. We'll mail you a book out. Mailed another one out today to somebody that requested one. We'll do that free of charge. Our deposit back into our community. It's chock full of great tips to help your sleep routine. One of the things that I've been working on as of late is breathing to relax, breathing to reduce stress, breathing to actually help me sleep better. I've really been focused lately doing what some call box breathing, where you take a deep breath in through your nose, expand your belly, which expands your diaphragm, hold it for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and then pause for 4 seconds. So it's kind of like, inhale, hold, exhale, hold, and that's the idea, right? So I do that because I went through a battery of tests in the fall of last year, and my cortisol is like through the roof. So I'm going to show you a little chart. Hopefully we can see this. I'm not good at camera thing. Yeah. The lights are washing it out. So this down here is your normal graph of how your cortisol works. It starts out, peaks up in the morning, and then trails off in the day. Well, mine goes way up, drops, and then goes way up, and then stays up. So I'm not even on the graph. I'm way off.
You're off the charts.
So my doctor said for breathing, you can really help cortisol go down. And, cortisol is something that helps you keep weight on, which obviously you can see I work with. So that is something I've been very focused on. And I have noticed as of late that the box type breathing really helps me sleep a lot better and a lot more rested and restored. So I've been working on that for the last little while, really focusing on it. I recommend you to do the same. Do your own research. I'm certainly not a doctor. So please, if you have anything related to breathing that transcends doctor advice, go see that doctor. Don't rely on Jeff on Lancaster Connects for medical advice. I think we covered the lawyer's disclaimer there. Just sharing what works for me. But we're happy to give you a whole bunch of sleep better tips. We'll mail the book, gardnersmattressandmore.com/sleep-better.
You know what's interesting from you're talking about breathing and sleep breathing, that sort of thing. My nose, I broke it a month ago, right? It's fixed. It's been fixed for 3 weeks. I snored previous to the broken nose.
Oh,
I don't snore anymore. So I think I had a problem in the septum. And yeah, it's like I can breathe. I can tell, as I'm laying there, I can breathe deeper. And Lindsay says I'm not snoring. So
it was worth it.
If you snore, break your nose.
Go play basketball with Ben at 6 a.m. at church and
get it fixed.
Get whopped.
You'll be good to go.
Get whopped in the
nose. It might be a rough 2 weeks there.
Tape face.
You have to wear a bunch of tape on your face, and then you're good to go. I don't know if it'll last, but I know Lindsay finds it a pleasant side effect
Just had to bust your nose to do it.
That's all. So piggybacking on the Sleep Better book, we had a testimonial come in, a handwritten testimonial from a customer of ours, Bridget. She wrote that excellent customer service from the first email to the in-store purchase. Discussed all the options and wasn't in a hurry, very pleased. So she was somebody who downloaded the Sleep Better book, which starts a sequence of messages. So our leads can learn a little bit more about who we are, how we can help with their sleep needs and whatnot. Often people will reply to those emails and start a conversation that way. Yep, this way. I reply back, and sometimes it's our team responding, sometimes it's us responding. But it's a great way for our customers to learn a little bit more from the comfort of their own home about how to shop properly for a mattress and get their sleep questions answered. And oftentimes we can narrow the choices down in that way, just from somebody reading the free information that's on the website and starting that conversation online. And then by the time they come into the store, they're educated on the process, and finding a mattress is actually easier than ever before when that conversation starts ahead of time. So thank you, Bridget, for the kind words and for trusting our information. Yeah.
Being our customer.
Yep. So don't have to just blindly walk in a store and do your research first. And great way to get started is to download the free book or request a free book.
Request the book.
Yep.
That's right.
Yep.
All right.
That's
very
it.
good.
Yeah.
So again, you can find the show a number of places online: YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. If you got a smart TV, search it out, pull it up on your TV. That'd be cool. Get a little dose of Ben and Jeff on your TV, because we're kind of a big deal. Just saying. Anyway, time for the prize-a-later. We got a number of comments. Let's fire that thing up and see who won this week our restaurant gift card.
What would we look like on 60-inch high def plasma LED? I don't even know what TVs are now. Wow, the prize-a-later is done. That was like the shortest prize-a-later ever.
Well, I think we were talking and not paying attention. You were distracting us. Jonna Green, big supporter of our show,
Yes.
Most deserving to win a gift card. So, Jonna, please do stop in and pick your choice of our restaurant gift cards. I suppose we should probably make another go around and buy some more. I think it's been a little while since we've dropped some fresh ones in there.
Yep.
So maybe save that comment for next time, but throw that into the prize later next Monday on a restaurant that Jeff or Ben should go and buy gift cards from.
That's a great idea. Get restaurant
Help
ideas.
out a restaurant and maybe win the gift card you recommend. Little pro tip to hack your way into winning the prize later.
There you go.
Just saying.
There you go. There you go.
Today's show full of tomfoolery, full of funny tactics. Still can't believe that bodybuilders slather up in fish oil, but such as it is, that's pretty hilarious to me. At any rate, that was this week's show.
You listen? I mean, is that?
I guess. I mean, yeah.
I don't think it's worth smelling though.
I think it's a little. I think it's a little out there. But yeah, that was this week's show. So thanks for tuning in to Lancaster Connects. We're going to end on fish oil. There you go. We'll see you next week. Take care, Lancaster.